Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mohammed and I'm also known as the King of Ecom. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the top 10 mistakes that you need to know before you start dropshipping. Literally, all of these mistakes are so crucial because if you just make one of them, then your entire dropshipping business could be completely destroyed. Everything that I'm going to share with you today are actionable tips that you are going to thank me later for. So make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, let's get into the value. Alright guys, so the first and one of the most common mistakes that I see newbie dropshippers make is not checking the shipping time for the countries that they are trying to advertise to. So if you go onto AliExpress and you check the shipping drop down, you're going to see there's tons of different options and it's very specific on each country that you're actually shipping to. So if you're wanting to advertise the United Kingdom, make sure to check out those specific shipping times, and a lot of times you might have to find a different supplier for one country than another country. And the reason why it's so important that you actually check the shipping times is sometimes United States will have 14 to 17 days shipping, and then we'll check out the shipping to Canada and we will take up to 2 months, and you guys don't want products out with 2 months shipping, because if you actually run into that scenario, then you're going to have to face tons of unhappy customers, and trust me, that's not how successful you are in dropshipping. You're going to have a ton of refund requests, a ton of chargeback, and overall that is just bad business. So make sure you do this one. Now mistake number 2 is setting realistic goals. I see a ton of people every single day thinking that this is get rich quick scheme and they want to make $50,000 or $100,000 next few months. Now I hate to break it to you, but this business model does take time and it does take effort. So if you're a beginner getting into this, expect not to make money right off the bat. Your primary goal should be coming into this learning absolutely as much as you can, because in my opinion the hardest part of this business model is actually going over that initial hump where you actually get sales. Once your store actually getting sales and you can turn up the knob with advertising, bring more traffic in, and it's relatively simple to scale. But trust me, don't expect to make words of money in the next few months, because you're going to be very unhappy when the money doesn't come in, and instantly you're going to quit much faster. This doesn't happen overnight. You guys aren't seeing the sleepless night, the times people almost went in debt, and all the trials and tribulations that actually came with people's success. Now guys, mistake number 3 is to actually start with a realistic budget. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes of newbies getting into dropshipping. They see this business model and they want to start out with $100 or $200, and while that might be sufficient to get your first store off the ground, if that's actually the only money you have, you're going to lose relatively quickly and you're going to think that this business model doesn't work. I suggest that you start with a $2,000 or $3,000 budget completely dedicated to actually testing products out, because this will give you a high likelihood of finding a winner if you don't have $2,000 or $3,000 yet. I wouldn't really start out trying to build a business. I would try to get a job, because the thing is, to take $100 and turn it into $1,000, you are going to need to attend extra money, which is pretty difficult. But it will be much easier if you spend about 30 to 40 hours working at a job, taking that money, putting $1,000 in and 10xing it and turning into $10,000. Now you can start a dropshipping business with $0, and that was my previous video, and I'll leave it in the top right corner in the iCard. So make sure you watch it and start your dropshipping career right now with just $0. Now mistake number 4 is that I see tons of newbies actually make is not focusing on viral products that solve problems. I've seen a lot of people's stores and I see these odd bracelets that they are trying to sell, and different jewelry right over here, the different jewelry in fashion products. And while these do sell, these are some of the most competitive niches. It can actually be harder to convince someone to buy a fashion product than something that actually solves a problem. The method that I teach dropshipping is actually finding products that fill a gap in the marketplace. So for example, I had a product which is one of my 100k products, and what this product is a neck massager which actually helps you release pain. Now this neck massager is an intelligent neck massager. It's neck massager with heat mode, and it has 3 modes of 15 levels of intensity. It's cordless and it has a large battery capacity. Now the reason this product is much easier to sell them than a random bracelet is it makes and it solves a real world problem. And when you actually go to Facebook and advertises to people with neck problems or neck pain, they are going to be much more likely to buy this an impulsive purchase than your random bracelet now or any other fashion product. Now, mistake number 5 is that I see tons of newbies making is starting out with a general store approach. If you don't know what that is, basically it's a store like Amazon focused on selling any product right under the sun. And the reason why I don't advise of this method is because right off the bat, if you had tons of products and you're still completely new to this business model, you're not going to spend enough time merchandising the products you do have, and you are going to think it's quantity over quality, but in reality that's actually flipped around. I like focusing fewer products that we merchandise much better because it gives us a much higher chance of actually getting sales on our store. So if you are starting out, I recommend you start off with a niche store or one product store. A niche store is focused on one market, for example sports gear, and a one product store is actually selling one product, so for example this sports sneaker. And by doing this, we'll be able to dedicate the time needed to properly merchandise our product and create good product descriptions, work on good graphics, and get good Facebook ads. Plus, when customers actually visit our website, they are going to look at our website as a very reputable brand because we are focused on their problem that we are trying to solve. Now, mistake number 6 is to avoid selling any copyright or trademark product. Now, this could be a little bit difficult to understand if you are a beginner, but one big piece of advice that I recommend to you is don't sell any products with any characters or any references to other company. For example, it can be a Batman costume and a football jersey or any other jersey or something related to Dragon Ball Z. This is actually common sense, but I see far too many people get into this business model and get their store shut down because the thing is that company could actually come file a report on you and Shopify will take your website down immediately. And on top of that, you can also face some legal implication if you actually did become very successful selling that product. So guys, mistake number 7 should seem like common sense, but I see far too many people get into this business model, start scaling their product, and they don't actually truly understand the profit that they are taking home each day. Now this is pretty simple to figure out. There's a couple of apps that you can download on your store like Lifetimely or Order Metrics, where these apps actually tracks real time your profit every single second. You can integrate your Facebook ads or Google ads and your product costs or your shipping costs and any fees that you're actually paying with Shopify or any external apps. So every single day you're able to look at real sales numbers and you don't have to add it up or creating a spreadsheet. So this is going to take a lot of time off your hands. And one really beneficial thing of knowing your exact profit is you can know when to scale. If you know you have a 30% profit margin, you know you can spend a little bit more money on ads, and this is going to give you a higher chance of scaling quicker, keeping more profit, and actually being successful in your dropshipping business. Alright guys, so mistake number 8. I see tons of dropshippers actually make it. They're spending tons of money on their debit card or they're paying with their ads through their bank or PayPal. Now it's completely fine if you're doing this, but if you're actually spending quite a bit of money, you're going to want to think of a couple of different credit cards you can use to leverage point for your e-commerce business. Now of course, if you do this, you're going to be paying your credit cards off every single month, but the benefit of actually using credit cards is you're able to bank off with these reward offers. Over the last few years, I managed to make over $15,000 from rewards from these companies because specific credit cards like the Chase Business Inc. and American Express Business Whole Card will give you 3 to 4% cash back on marketing up to a limited amount every single year. To be potentially, you could be walking home with an extra $11,000 or $13,000 every single year just by capitalizing on these rewards. And with these rewards, you can do ton of things like book Airbnbs, book flights, literally almost anything you can do with these cards. So if you're scaling, definitely check this out. Alright guys, so mistake number 9 is not setting up as a legal business entity. I see beginners make is not actually setting up a legal business entity, and this is really important. Once you actually have some revenue coming in, that you decide what type of business you actually want to create. When you first get started, you should start a sole proprietorship, but as your business starts, this is going to be more tax advantageous to run something like an S corp. But I definitely recommend talking to your local CPA, because the information I'm sharing with you is only relevant in the United States, and of course I am not legal or a certified tax professional. But you definitely want to think about this once sales are coming in, because this is going to help you out in the long run. And if you have a corporation, then you can take some of the liability off yourself in case anything happens to your business. Now finally, mistake number 10 is staying up to date on your books and making sure that you're actually properly paying taxes. So I remember when I first got started with e-commerce and dropshipping, I was making quite a bit of revenue, but I wasn't focusing on taxes or anything like that at the end of the year. I talked to a tax professional and they let me know all this different stuff that I had to do in order to file taxes, and I only had a few ways to get all of it together. It took me hours and hours, and it was one of the most stressful process is. So in order to combat this, once you actually start getting sales, talk to a certified tax professional, let them know about your business model, and they are going to help structure your taxes through actually doing this correctly. And you're going to want to make sure you're keeping your books up to date until you meet your tax professional. So you can actually download something like QuickBooks, where you can import your bank transactions every single day, and all you need to do is click a couple of buttons and they're going to import into QuickBooks. And this way you're going to be able to stay up to date on all your books. At the end of the year, you can just submit this profit and loss statement to your accountant, and they're going to be able to do everything super simply, because your accountant's not going to go through your books or your bank statement and look everything and give you this pretty number. That's not how most accountants work unless you are paying a bookkeeper. So I just recommend you to do it yourself and save yourself a lot of trouble over the 10 most costly mistakes you can make as a beginner. Literally all of these mistakes are some of the biggest hurdles that I see beginners make, and I truly believe that if you take this advice, implement it into your dropshipping store, you're going to be much more likely to have a successful dropshipping business. Anyways, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video and got a ton of value. If you did, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see even more tutorials. So guys, if you have any doubts relating dropshipping or any other e-com business, feel free to DM me on my Instagram, and you can ask anything you want to me. I'll be always free. Feel free, and do follow me on Instagram. Thank you. Stay safe. Cheers.